everybody, Tuni here from Potential Synergy. In this video, I am so excited to share one of my recent sewing projects with you. If you have noticed, I have been gone for a while. Lots have happened, but I also had a cold a few weeks ago, and as a result, I lost my voice. I have been slowly gaining some of it back to the point where I can sort of talk right now. But if my voice starts cracking or if it sounds terrible, I'm really sorry. I hope you can still understand what I'm saying. Now, back to the sewing project. It all started with my favorite pair of pants. I love these pants so much. I've had them for about 20 years now, and I've worn them to many places. A few months ago, I noticed two little holes in my pants, and I panicked. Because as much as I love sewing and I love making things with my sewing machine, I am terrible at mending. I have watched videos, I have bought a book. Still, every time I mend something, it just comes out looking worse. And I'm afraid to mend clothes, basically. So when I saw the holes, I just put the pants away for a while and kind of pondered the idea of how am I going to mend these pants. I really want to keep wearing them, but I don't want to mend them. Blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I came up with this idea of using applique designs to cover these little holes and also embellish the pants, making them more my own. And I'm really happy with the result. Let me show you. So this is the front of the pants. You see on one side there's a little sewing machine, and on the other side there's the word sew. And on the back, we have little hearts of different sizes. Let me show you closer. And on the other side is the word mend. As you can see, I went a little far with this project, but I had a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to share with you the whole process. This is not going to be a tutorial video. If you're interested in giving applique a try, I will link some videos that I find useful in the description box. It's not down here anymore, is it? It's sometimes over here too. Anyway, they're gonna be in the description box for you. My goal is to share with you my sewing journey and to maybe inspire you to personalize your garments or your projects with your sewing skills, whatever level you are, and just have fun. I hope you find this video helpful. Without further ado, let's get started. And first of all, I'm going to show you where the two holes are. So here's my first hole. That's on the front, and then I have one more on the back, right there. Now let's talk about supplies. For the applique fabrics, I am using scrap fabrics that I have in my stash. I have a whole bunch over here. Next is a product from Heat and Bond called Light Sewable, which I am going to use to fuse to the back of my applique fabric. And once I have cut out the design, I'm going to fuse the applique piece to the pants. Before I use my Cricut machine to cut the applique pieces on the fabric, I'm going to cut them out on paper first. I have some scrap paper over here, and I have some tape just in case to just stick the paper temporarily onto the pants. I also have lightweight cutaway stabilizer from Pelon to use just in case I need it. Just to make sure that my applique designs turn out the way I would like them to and that I don't waste fabric, I am cutting the pieces out on paper first, and I am just using scrap paper, copy paper here. Once I've cut these out, I'm going to place them on my pants and just to see where they go and to see if they are where I want them to be, if they are the right size, and if they look good. I've made some adjustments to the designs, and now that I'm happy, now I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces out on fabric. My fabrics are right size down on the mat, and on the back of the fabrics I have fused the Heat and Bond Light Sewable onto each piece, and also I've peeled the paper part off before cutting. On my Cricut, I use my rotary blade and I changed the setting to bonded cotton. Moment of truth. It's time to fuse my applique designs to my pants. I have my wool pressing mat and my iron ready. And I have my applique pieces ready, and as you can see, there's my little hole there. So I'm gonna find one of the hearts and just cover it. And then I'm gonna arrange the other hearts around it so that they all look good. And once I'm satisfied, I'm going to fuse all the hearts to my pant leg with my iron, according to the written instructions on the Heat and Bond package. Because the hole in my pant leg is very small, I don't see the need to fuse an interfacing or a stabilizer on the back side of the pant leg. However, if you would like to try the same technique and your hole is a little bit bigger, you can just use SF101 and just fuse it to the back side of your garment. Once I've checked that all of my applique pieces are securely fused to my pant leg, I'm going to move on to the next step. Because I can't do machine applique on the pants the way they are right now, I have to rip the crotch seam in order to proceed. And this is a little bit nerve-wracking because the pants are 20 years old, therefore the fabric tends to be a little delicate. So I'm going to do this off camera and I'll see you in a bit. Here we are. I try to do as minimal ripping as possible, so I didn't rip the center part of the crotch seams or where the crotch is. I just undo the hemming and I ripped part of the leg seams, as you can see over here. And what happened was that I ended up ripping the fabric in the process along the hem lines. And I'm going to show you how I fix that part in a bit. But as you can see, now I have space to stitch the applique designs with the fabric being open like this. And I've actually gone ahead and stitched some of the designs before the filming of this part. As you can see, I really like the way they look. I just used triple straight stitches. They're simple to sew and they accentuate the shapes of the applique designs. Now I'm going to show you how I stitch the applique designs. I am using my open toe foot. It's a clear foot with an open toe for better visibility. And for my machine, it's called the F2 foot. I have two open toe feet. And the stitch that I'm using is called a triple straight stitch. The machine is going to stitch forward one time, backward one time, and then forward again one time. So the stitch gets a little bit thicker, which is great for applique. Before I begin stitching, I am tying a knot with my reverse button. And now I'm just going to stitch around the edges of that end. Once I get closer to a curve, I make sure to slow down so that I don't go over. And I also make sure that I finish a stitch. So remember, my stitch is one time forward, one time backward, and then one more time forward. So I make sure that my machine has finished stitching that stitch before I pivot. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with wonky stitches. And I'm going to continue doing that until I get to the end of my letter. And I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of my applique designs. Ta-da! The applique part is complete. Now I'm going to show you the tears along the hem lines that I told you about. Here's one that looks pretty nasty. So I'm going to fix that after I resew the crotch seam and re-hem the pants. This step is done off camera, but I'm going to sew a chain stitch along the crotch seam and then I'm just going to hem the pants with my sewing machine. Now that I have sewn the crotch seam and hemmed the pants, I'm going to move on to fixing the tears along the hemline. I want to do something similar to a zigzag stitch, but more fun. So I'm going to do a blanket stitch and I'm going to use my variegated Aurifil cotton thread for this part. I try my best to line up the edge of the fabric with where the needle is. It's not always perfect, but my goal is to prevent the fabric from fraying any further. Here's the close-up look of my applique. I had so much fun working on this project and I'm so proud of the results. It's not perfect, but I get to have these one-of-a-kind pants that I customize myself, and I never thought I could do that. I really hope you give applique a try. This is raw edge applique. In my opinion, I think this is the easiest kind of applique out there. I could be wrong, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you have a cutting machine that can help you cut the fabrics to different shapes that might be a little bit more time consuming if you cut by hand. I am terrible at drawing, so this tool has helped me out a lot. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I totally enjoyed making it. This project is definitely one of the most special I've worked on so far. I hope this video activates your synergy. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!